No, it's not that. Okay, boys, we need to start over. Hang on just a second. Something's a little too loose. Okay, that's how tight it's supposed to be. Hi. I'm next. No, I'm next. I can do this every year.
Very hard. It was very, very hard. Walking 15 miles a day, everybody had to work. I mean, we were walking from sun up to sundown. So first thing in the morning. So in the morning, first thing we did before sun.
This is the kind of room Sutter might have made available to American immigrants newly arrived at the fort. Americans left the United States and headed for a new life in Mexican California for a number of reasons. One thing that inspired them was a report written by Captain John C. Fremont about California after his first visit in 1844. He described a country of mild weather, good soil, and uncrowded land. Many Americans read the report and were encouraged to make the trip. An economic depression at its worst in the mid-1840s drove other Americans westward. The overland trip to California by wagon train was not an easy undertaking. The journey, which took approximately 6 months, often caused physical hardships and suffering. Sweltering days were followed by freezing nights. Travelers were often drenched with rain. Became a destination for overland wagon trains was its reputation for safety at the end of a perilous trip. The cannons on your left and right are the type that were made in England and are called carronades. They were loaded with powder first and then bags of musket balls, thus making them huge shotguns. Carronades would be aimed along the fort's walls to sweep down potential attackers and their ladders. The cannon in the center could be loaded with iron balls and be used to stop potential attackers on their approach to a fort. Sutter recalled where he got his cannons and how their presence acted as a warning.
The Indians at first were troublesome, and had it not been for the cannons, they would have killed us for the sake of my property. To show them the effects of powder and ball, I planted my guns and fired at a target. These guns were great reputation builders, and frightened the mass of veterans. On my arrival in California, I had bought 3 of the smaller guns written from a mine. 6 of the larger Mr. Comes, I purchased from the captain of the Italian vessel. He brought him for me from
As the cannons above are the symbols of Sutter's military power, so this jail is a symbol of his civil power. Along with his grant of land, Sutter was made the Justice of the Peace for the Sacramento District of Upper California and charged with enforcing the law of colonization and, quote, reducing civilization that native to these frontiers and fortifications.
12 counts colonized kingdoms and seek the highest law.
They were astonished to see what work of all kinds was being done.
There were 2 guard rooms at Sutter's fort, one on each side of the main gate. Fremont remarked that Sutter had 40 Indian men in uniform constituting the fort's garrison, and Sutter remembered that the Mexicans were very impressed when they saw his Indian soldiers. There was strict military discipline.
You're also way too far away from it.
I'm only going to lose the police if I were you. No, it's
These are Sutter's private living quarters. He stated that his room was located near the guard room, so that if anything of importance occurred during the night, he could be immediately notified. Sutter acquired mattresses, mattress covers, and sheets from the Russians at Fort Ross, and his bed was draped with curtains.
So this is my next project too, is I got some river spikes.
A broken gun is of no use to its owner. Whether the gun belonged to the individual settler or was part of Sutter's arsenal, a skilled craftsman was needed to repair or replace broken parts. This was also the period when the technology A map of Sutter's fort, drawn about 1846, shows 9 rooms set aside as private living quarters. Throughout the history of the establishment, Sutter recruited and housed his workers.
Small immigrant parties arrived and brought me some very valuable men. All of them were hospitably received under my roof, and all who could be employed sustainably.
You worried about your day
Almost everything you see at Sutter's Fort was created by a craftsman working with wood. Doors and windows, gates and roofs were made by carpenters. Tables and chairs, beds and cupboards, shelves and gun racks were made by cabinet makers.
What's your YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channel? Hey, what's your YouTube channel? What is your YouTube channel?
You want me to get your glove?
Sure, right.
Left hand?
Left, yeah.
I'll get it. Put it on the...
About 2 minutes, so I can walk you guys over to behind the rope if you'd like.
Yes, so it's right along the wall.
All right, guys, will you stand up, grab your bag, say thank you?
Thank you.
Perfect. So we're going to walk in and have
Under the government, I received the rank of captain of the Mexican Army. I become to drill the Indians with the assistance of 2 good non-commissioned officers from my country. I received my orders from the government to lay as large an auxiliary force as I possibly could, and to be ready at Cuddle. I began to organize a force. Regular drill of the Indian infantry took place. A mounted rifle company of about 100 men from all nations was raised. And all was understanding and
Thank you, you guys look fine.
What's up? I'm chilling. Yes.
No, we're just gonna test it. You don't want to have the well block your view. What do you guys? How's everybody doing today? Thank you for visiting Southern Fort. We're going to get started on our cannon demonstration. The cannon that we're going to be firing today is the cannon right behind me. This is a replica of Sutter's favorite cannon. Sutter acquired the original cannon when he purchased Fort Ross from the Russians in 1841, and the original cannon was used during all the major battles of the Mexican-American War here in California, and it was fired often here at the fort, but it was never fired in anger. Sutter's fort was never attacked, but this cannon was fired often as a salute to visiting dignitaries. And our visiting dignitaries today are our pioneers from Westfield Village Elementary School. Let's give them a round of applause. They are representing life here at Sutter's Fort, the material culture, and the jobs that were here. And we're going to show all aspects of the cannon firing today. And this cannon is capable of taking a 4-pound cannonball, throwing it through the air as much as a mile. You should do that today. You guys really think I should put this cannonball in there? If I put this cannonball in that cannon, it blasts a hole right through that bastion over there. California State Parks only likes to rebuild this place every 125 years. But we are using real black powder. Now let me show you our cannon charge. Our charge is wrapped in aluminum foil. Did they use aluminum foil in the 1840s? No, they would have been using a material like linen, like your shirts. But Captain Sutter here, he doesn't like it when burning linen comes flying out of that cannon. Just like that fire to that wood shingle roof over there. But we are using real black powder. Now let me introduce our cannon crew for you today. Working at the muzzle of the cannon, we have your blacksmith biscuits. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, working at the muzzle of the cannon, we have your trapper, Mr. McIntosh. Working at the breech of the cannon doing pick and prime, we have Baker Penn. Doing touch off, we have Grizzly Bill. And I'm Pack Fuel, and I'm Gun Captain and Powder Monkey. The first group out of what, 6 years is actually applauded. Anyway, you guys take a step back from the rope. You guys can't have you touch the rope. If the rope comes down, we have to stop the demonstration. So normally, we would need to have 9 men for a full cannon crew, and with 9 trained men, we could fire this cannon about 2 to 3 times a minute. But this is the best I got. Gunners, pose! That tells everybody to get to their spots. Now we're going to treat this cannon as if it had just been fired. So my next command will be, worm the bore. Mr. McIntosh will take a corkscrew-like device. He will put it down the barrel of the gun, twist it, and he will use that to remove any excess debris that might be still in the cannon. But now we have a potentially hot cannon barrel that might have burning embers still in it. We don't want to put gunpowder down the barrel in that condition. It's unsafe. So my next command will be wet swab. The wet swab is a stick with a rag at the end of it. He's going to dunk it in a bucket of water, run it down the barrel of the gun to extinguish any embers that might be still in the cannon. But now we have a wet cannon barrel. We don't want to put gunpowder down a wet barrel, then it won't go off. The primary tenet of handling black powder is to keep your powder dry. So we call for a dry swab. Now the cannon barrel is dry and clear, my next command will be present cartridge. I will walk to the wheel of the cannon. I will present the charge. Mr. McIntosh will then present we would load the cannonball, but we are not doing so today. And just so that my crew doesn't go deaf, I'm walking back over here. So, now that we have the charge, have been drilled, the secretary will be hit and prime, make the stand, make a draft stand. Draft is a little spark like iron or steel might. We will put it on the vessel. We will come to the charge at the back of the barrel. He is going to pick the charge, and then he will expose the powder in the charge, and then he will take from a paper cartridge a fine-grained gunpowder and pour it down the vent. And this will create a fuse of gunpowder to connect the charge at the back of the cannon with our lid stop. Drinking the dough over there, holding that greasy stick, that is called the lid stop. At the end of the lid stop, it is the blowback, which is a rope soaking cap with nitrate, and he will use that to stand a safe distance away while firing off the cannon. So, this cannon is now ready to fire. But we have some people in the fort right now, and we might have some people outside the fort eating lunch or having a siesta that don't know that this cannon's about to go off, and we need to warn them, so I need your help. On the count of 3, I need you all to yell, fire in the hole. That means there's going to be a loud boom, fire in the hole. Then I want you to take your hands and cup them over your ears, because this could be pretty loud. Don't stick your fingers in your ears, cup your hands over your ears like this. And if you have any little ones with you, please sacrifice your ears for theirs. Are we ready, Captain Sutter? Are we ready, pioneers? All right, on the count of 3, fire in the hole. 1, 2, 3. We have to secure the cannon for now. We have to secure the cannon for now. Once the cannon is secure, we will lower the rope. Once I have everybody in the cannon, we will lower the rope, and then I believe it's lunchtime.